What is up, guys? Happy to be tuned in again today. We're going to be talking with Jason from Pressure Wash Help, aka the Pressure Wash King. So, we're going to be getting schooled today by one of the best in the business. He's got a huge YouTube following, probably one of the biggest YouTube followers or one of the biggest YouTubers that I've spoken to so far. And Jason's a great guy. A lot of people have learned a lot from Jason. So, very happy to have him on today. Very happy to talk to him. And as always, I appreciate everybody who tunes in. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to these videos with me. It means a lot. I think what we're doing in this group is going to be incredible. So I really appreciate you guys for that. And again, thanks to everyone who's tuning in. This is going to be a really good one. Like I said, we got Jason, the Pressure Wash King from Pressure Wash Help YouTube channel, joining us today. What's going on, Daniel? What's up, Sean? Glad you can make it, bro. What's up, Paul? Daniel. What's up, bro? Hey, what's up, Everett? It's not letting me in yet. Okay. All right, Jason, I'm going to go ahead and send you the invite. Hey, what's up, Brian? All right, let's see here. All right, Jason, don't worry. I'm going to send you this invite right here. Hey, what's going on, Ron? What's up, buddy? I watched that giveaway you guys did the other night. That was pretty cool, man. I like that giveaway. We should get Marco to do a giveaway to one of the bros, man. We could set something up for sure. What's going on, Jim? Glad you can make it, buddy. I know we've had a couple good conversations. Why is it not letting me add you? Hey, Jason, is there a way? Is it giving you an option down towards the bottom to join the broadcast? Hey, what's up, Jacob? What's up, Richard? Carl, what's going on, bro? What's going on, Terry? Glad you can make it, bro. Hey, my boy Davey, you made it. I'm glad you can make it. Hey, what's up, Billy? Representing PA. PA is well represented. All right, Jason, I know that you're watching, man. I'm trying to get you on. Normally, it allows me to just send you an invite, but your name's not popping up for some reason. Hey, that's right. That's right. What's up, Raphael? Hey. All right, guys, he's about to join in 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, it's adding him. Hey, what's up, man?
Not much. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just waiting to get you on here. Hey, man, I really appreciate you doing this, man. It's really nice to finally get to meet you and talk to you.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it on my phone because I don't know why it wouldn't allow it to go through the other ways.
Oh, it didn't let you go through your computer.
That's why I got the green screen now versus a regular.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry about that, man. Maybe next time I should have went through your software. That probably would have been better.
Figure it out.
Billy says, King, Jason Gieman. Jason, the Pressure Wash King is in the house.
Yep. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you doing tonight?
Good, good. I'm ready for this snow to go away so the grass starts growing, washing and seeing people.
Yup.
More.
Yup. Get back out there, get washing again, man. I can't wait for March to get here.
Me either.
Yup. So, man, I know I had a lot of questions for you. I'm glad you joined here, man. I know a lot of the other guys here in this group that I've spoken to, a lot of guys credit you with the education that they've gotten. You put out a ton of great content. I mean, your YouTube channel is insane with the amount of content that you put out there for free.
Yes, so when I first started coming into the pressure washing world, I didn't know anything. I was a full-time firefighter. I didn't know what I was doing. And, learned from someone that was probably one of the greats in the pressure washing world of Michael Crisley. He gave a lot of free information out. And I ended up buying his business eventually. And that's kind of how I kind of started. And so I'm the type of person that I like to help people. I like to make sure people are successful, and I want to set them up for success. And that is my goal, is to help people so that way they can be successful. There is success out there, and I want them to be successful.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, I've learned so much from you myself just watching YouTube. I remember your old video, you were in the box trailer showing us how to soft wash with the pressure washer. I was just watching that video again the other day. So much, man. I really appreciate all you put out. What got you into doing YouTube videos?
Um, well, obviously, I tried to. I've paid people to try to do SEO, and I've paid people to do some of my stuff. And so I
Mhm.
started doing the YouTube side of it was so that way I could also promote my own business through the SEO of that. So that's kind of how I
Yep.
started. And then once
Okay.
I started, I just kept growing it and having fun with it and love
Yep.
it. And this isn't something that, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have said, man, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up, because
Yeah.
I didn't like being on video. In fact, some of my very first videos, you never see me. I don't like the way my voice sounds. And a lot of times as pressure washers, as people trying to become business owners, are scared
Hmm.
to death of, they sound bad. They don't sound like what they want to sound. And
Right.
that just holds people back at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just the fear of, being criticized and whatnot.
Yep, yep. And fear, and as I always tell people, fear is not a bad thing all the time. Fear of
Hmm.
falling off the roof is a good thing, but
Yeah.
fear of failure, fear of not being able to grow a business, that fear is not good. And so
Right.
overcoming those fears is what will help you become successful. Like
Yep.
I say, falling off a roof, that's exactly what that's what fear is. That's good fear of hitting that
Right.
line. That's a good fear to have.
Yep.
But fear of failure, you're going to fail. And the thing of it is about getting back up, standing back up on your feet, and making sure that you can keep pushing on and getting there. Because you know what?
Yep.
That's how I've learned through my fears of failure.
Hmm.
I've failed many a times. Like I say,
Yep.
my first website, we paid somebody $2,000, and it was a big major flunk. And so that's
Mhm.
when I'm like, all right, I got to go learn how to do SEO, because I'm not getting tired of paying people that don't know what they're doing. So.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'm with you 100% right there. We had a question here from Carson. He wanted to know, what did you do to advertise when you were a single man crew?
So when I first started out, I started out with good old Groupon. Don't do it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
this was Groupon, and what was the other one? Living Social back in the day. And the biggest thing that I started out was with signs. Signs was one of the things
Okay.
that I did probably almost $30,000 my very first year, and it was majority
Wow.
signs.
Okay.
Obviously, the Facebook groups. I did a lot of the Facebook groups. Uh,
Hmm.
I was in a lot of the Facebook groups. And then the next thing I started learning was I did start putting some money in Google Ads and started learning that.
Okay.
And I hear people all the time that they're like, you know what? Why do you pay for training? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? I'll tell you right
Hmm.
now why. Because you learn it a lot faster. I've been to Chicago to learn AdWords. I've been to California to learn SEO and social media and all of that kind of stuff. I've probably got $25,000-$30,000 just in training myself to learn how to do different things so that I could handle it and do it myself.
Right. Yeah, and I can tell, just the fact that how big you are online, you definitely know your stuff when it comes to growing organically. That YouTube channel you got is no joke.
And I just took a class for YouTube this past year to learn how to do YouTube better, to figure out, and YouTube isn't that hard. It's, at the end of it, it isn't about, keep people think that YouTube's all about keyword stuffing and all that stuff. And that's
Right.
10 years ago. Now it's all about storytelling and
Yep.
talk and keeping people involved and that kind of thing. So,
Right. Yep. Yep. Getting them hooked and then keeping them along for that story throughout.
yep.
Yep.
And taking them along that journey. People, even with some of the YouTube channels that are coming out there, the guys that are kind of just writing their journey as they go to look back on it,
Yep.
those are doing amazingly well because it's
Yep.
about the story. And what do we want to hear at the end of the day? We want to
The
hear
story.
the story.
Yep, that's one thing I've noticed. A lot of guys that are really succeeding, like the Joe Deere's out there, who's one of my personal favorites. It's like he brings you along for the ride. He shows you the ups and the downs of like what it's like to actually be along that beginner journey.
And he will be on my channel coming up. Well, he was supposed to be up on here about a week ago, and his son, something was at the hospital. So he
Hmm.
will be on my channel in about 3 or 4 weeks. So.
Yeah, praying for his son. Hopefully his son gets a little bit better.
Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. He's definitely a great guy for your audience to get to know. He's just an awesome guy.
So, and that's what I like to see. I like to see people starting out and being successful. I hate, and I know there's been a lot of criticism and all this about YouTubers and Facebookers and all of this stuff. And, this isn't something that's new. Every winter since I've been doing this, every winter is a time that everybody wants to go hate on everybody and, wants
Right.
to go out everything. And once spring starts, it kind of starts, washing away a little bit. So I can't wait till spring starts. So
Yeah. Hey, no, I totally understand. Looks like we have a question here from Jim. He's one of my buddies. He wants to know, was it hard on the family life, balancing work and all the travel for training? He says, I'm trying to figure out how to not get the, let's see,
how not to
I'm
get.
trying to figure out how to get the wife pissed because of the time I'm spending learning.
It is tough to do it. The biggest thing that I learned is family life balance is something that we got to be important about, because it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how much you're doing. If we're spinning our wheels and we're not spending money. Now, the thing that I was fortunate with is I took my wife to California, to San Diego, that training. So this
Yep.
was a time that I took her with me. I actually took them to Chicago with me. They stayed in the hotel. I went
Okay.
thing, and then I came back. So this was
Yep.
actually kind of and this is some things that we can do when we're business owners. We can make these trips so that way we can write it all off, because it's a
Right.
business expense, and we can
Right.
write off a hotel, and we can write off a lot of things. So that way we are making this a vacation slash, and most of my trips are that. Even now,
Mhm.
when I go teach trainings, I take my family along with me. So that way, they're staying in the hotel, swimming, while I'm out there doing the work.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's an awesome way to put it. I think that's one thing a lot of people overlook is that you can actually bring your family with it and benefit with the fact that you get kind of like a vacation for them, but it's also a business write-off.
Yep, exactly. And it's about being smart with our money. It's not, I'm all for paying taxes and that, but I'm also all for I don't want to pay any more than I have to legally.
Right.
As long
Yeah.
as it's
Yep.
legal, I'm gonna push it as much as I can. So
Yeah. Yep. Well, Robert Kiyosaki pushes that big too, and Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I don't know if you're into Robert Kiyosaki, but he's big
yep.
one of those financial guys.
And actually one of his CPAs wrote the book Tax Free Wealth,
Yeah. Yep.
and that's another great book to
Okay.
read, and I would recommend it to everybody to read that book.
Okay.
That's another great book, and it kind of
Hmm.
teaches you how to make sure that the things that you can do to help write things off. So
Gotcha. I'm definitely gonna check. You're the second person that's recommended that book to me, so I'm for sure gonna take a quick look at that.
and that's something too that I learned through my years, and I used to not even do it until just recently, but I learned that reading books is very important. And I don't read
I
books
agree.
because I can't understand. I could read the book and can't tell you what it talks about. So I listen to a lot of books, and books
Okay.
are a great way of being able to learn different things.
Right.
If you like, The Pumpkin Plan's another good book by Mike
Okay.
Kiyosaki, or whatever his name is. He also wrote Profit First, which I'm a big fan of Profit First. Uh,
Okay.
so these are some different books that I've read. Another great book is about leadership is Extreme Ownership. That's an
Okay.
amazing book. That's a book that you're ready to go start fighting.
Jocko Willick.
Yep, that's a book that you're ready to go start fighting people after you read
Yeah.
that. So.
So what if you could pick maybe like one or two, maybe even three books that you think have had the biggest impact on you, what would those books be?
Extreme ownership would probably be the number one, because
Okay.
we always want to blame somebody else, and taking
Hmm.
extreme ownership is saying that I screwed up. No matter if it's my employee, it's my fault because I didn't train him what he needed to do. And so
Right.
that's probably one of the most recent books that I've read that has probably the biggest impact of
Okay.
knowing, that if we don't, making sure that we're taking ownership of our business. And it
Right.
doesn't matter if we're a pressure washer, if we're a fireman, if we are a teacher, but
Hmm.
taking ownership and not blaming it on somebody else. Because whenever you blame someone else, that does no good. That's not taking ownership. That's not being that thing. The next
Right.
probably best book that I would highly recommend that's changed my life is the pumpkin plan. And that
Okay.
talks about a lot about, picking the suckers off to get the big pumpkins. Because,
Okay.
I like, I had a guy on, and his average ticket's at $1,000. He did $1,000,000. He's 26 years old this year,
Wow.
and that's called getting those bigger pumpkins. So,
Yeah.
a lot of times in the beginning, we want to pick all these little things. We want to do house washing, window cleaning, interior, exterior, and all these different things. And what that does is we don't ever really get good at one thing. And the
Right.
plan talks about getting good at that one thing.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever read Think and Grow Rich?
I have read that book. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's my book. Whenever anybody asks, that's always my number one go-to book. Think and Grow Rich was one of the books that really shifted because I used to have the mindset where like I was going to be middle class and I was stuck being middle class my whole life. There was nothing that was going to change it. And then when I read that book, I realized my mind is actually powerful. I can actually make decisions in my life that will set me up to, be successful or be wealthy.
Your mind is an amazing thing. Just
Mm-hmm.
use it. That's the thing.
Yep.
And you know what? You're allowed to use it. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to have somebody to tell you to use it.
Yep.
Rich Dad Poor Dad is kind of the same way of that same thinking. You
Mm-hmm.
think like a poor dad versus a rich dad. And
Yep.
with me, I did grow up poor. I wasn't, I still have a lot of mindset. It comes back down to our mind. I've had a lot,
Mm-hmm.
I still deal with mindsets of, poor mentality thinking and stuff like that. And it's
Yep.
not just something, I'm 40 years old and I'm still dealing with it. So this
Mm-hmm.
is things that, and this is probably reason why people can't grow their pressure washing business at the end of the day, because the number
Right.
one thing I hear is, well, I would never pay that much. Well, you daggone right. You're not your customer. So
Yeah. Yep.
mindset, or you're screwing people. I'm only screwing people I'm must be screwing a lot of people because a lot of people are paying me and they're
Yep.
loving it. And they're giving me 5-star reviews and all of that kind
Mm-hmm.
of stuff. So
Yep. Yep. All about that perceived value, really.
it is 100%, 100%.
Yep. Yep. That was definitely one of my biggest things too, for sure, was just the mindset, the mentality. I think it all comes back to your mentality, 100%.
And your mindset is one that, I, like I say, I was brought up in a Christian home of, money is evil, and it's not the money that's evil. It's the love of money is evil.
Yeah.
And so things that people were brought up with is some things that can, just, you got to change that mindset. You got to really think about that mindset that is not good. That can be toxic at times.
Yeah. I totally agree. Jeremy kind of wanted to add on, kind of in alignment with what you were saying about the pumpkin. What was it called?
The pumpkin plan.
The pumpkin plan. Okay. He says, as to what Joshua Latimer says, dig deep, not wide.
Yep. Yep. Because at that
Yep.
point we're getting good at what we're good at, and we're not trying
Yep.
to do. I've done it all. I've done deck cleaning or deck staining, and I did all of these other things that I eventually had to say no to it because it was just things I didn't like. And it wasn't that
Mhm.
it wasn't profitable, because when I was doing deck staining and I was getting out of deck staining because I hated it, we were
Right.
charging $10, $12 a square foot, and these people were still paying it. And eventually it was like,
Yep.
no, we don't want them.
Right. It's just not the type of work you want to do.
Exactly.
Gotcha. What was your story like? What actually got you into power washing? Like, how long ago did you start, and then what kind of led you down that path?
So in 2011, I was sitting at the firehouse. I was a full-time firefighter for Georgetown, Kentucky, right outside of Lexington, Kentucky. In
Okay.
fact, the home of the Toyota Camry plant. And so
Okay.
build the Toyota Camrys. And so one of the guys came in and was like, hey, man, I'm going to go buy me a pressure washer. I'm going to get all this green off there. Well, I'm a mechanic by trade. I actually went to college
Okay.
to become a heavy diesel mechanic. I used to work on all of the heavy equipment, D7s, D9s, D12s, 637 scrapers, all that kind of stuff. And so I've done my share of pressure washing on these heavy equipment. And it
Yep.
wasn't something that I thought was fun, because when we would do that type of work, you'd come out, you'd be full of grease and grease in your ears. And I was like, that sounds stupid. Why would you want to pressure
Yeah.
his house? And that's what I thought.
Hmm.
So I got, so he didn't ever take that choice. So he went, and I started looking it up. And this was back in the days when things were called forums.
Yeah, before you had YouTube guys like you out there showing us everything.
YouTube and Facebook groups. This was
Yep.
Facebook groups too. So I got researching and finding all the forums, and that's how I kind of got started. And it took off, and then I scaled it and grew it to $1 million. And then we sold it, and then I kept doing the marketing for another year, and it hit another $1 million after I sold it. Marketing.
Well, how was that first year? Because I know a lot of people always say the first year is always the hardest, and then the second year, and then by the third year, you kind of have that customer list where it starts getting easier. So how was that first year for you?
That first year was tough because I didn't know nothing about marketing. You know, I really didn't. I did design, I did Groupon, I did Craigslist, I did there really wasn't even a Facebook groups to do it in the beginning. So it was mostly that kind of stuff. But even then, all the way back then, I actually took I went down to Alabama and learned some, just a class down there. And that's where Michael Crisley was down there. Kurt Kempton was there. A couple other, Thad was there. And Guy Blackman was there. So, in getting around those like-minded people and just started listening, learning, and sucking that information in. And that's what I'll tell anybody. And I don't care if it's a paid class or a free class. Go to some of these events that are networking events. And you might say, why do I want to network with another pressure washer? Because this is what I always tell people. If you get around successful people, you're going to become successful. If you're around people that aren't successful, you're probably not going to be successful. You're only successful as the people you are around at the end of the day. So
they say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, so don't be around 5 dumb people. Go around 5. Be the bottom of 5 smart people, and you're going to grow at that point. And I agree 100% on that. And so when I went to that class down there, like I say, Michael Crisley, he did that month that he was down there, did a $40,000 month. Guy Blackman, who knows how much he did. These are some people that I knew that I got to get their phone numbers, and I was able to call them when I was struggling. And I called Crisley quite a bit because he was only an hour from me. I never went and did a ride along, but I would call him every once in a while and say, hey, I got a problem here.
Yeah, just have that in your network.
Exactly. And when you get people in your network, especially like somebody that just came in here, Mr. Michael Hinderliner, them are the people that you want in your network.
I agree. Yep. Him, you, and a few other guys. There are a lot of guys that guys like me, we watch and we learn from, and it's just awesome that you guys do that, man. It's incredible. Now I know we haven't had a chance to meet in person, but it's still like I can still watch your videos, and it's like you talk about so much. There's pretty much nothing you haven't put out there that hasn't been asked before. So there's so much, like I could just watch your videos, and all the guys watching right now can watch your videos and soak it all in. And it's like you're able to meet face to face, but it's like you don't actually meet face to face. You're able to meet all those people.
And then the best thing, when you do meet me in face to face, you look up at me and you're like, holy cow, you're a giant.
Yeah. So I know a lot of guys look up to you. Who are you look up to nowadays? Who are you kind of looking to for guidance and inspiration, and just maybe somebody that you look to and it's like, I want to be like that guy. I want to develop some of the habits that he has. Who's maybe 1 or 2 of those guys?
I want to be like Michael Hinderliner.
Hey, same. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
He's humble. He's type of person that he's actually reached out to me a couple times here lately, and that's the type of person that I love about people like that, that are willing to help the industry grow and stuff like that. I'm in a lot of the Facebook groups. I don't really go around just pushing one group or the other, but I do that so that way I can learn what's kind of new, different things coming in. And, I'm not a big hater. I'm a big fan of, if somebody asks a question, answer the question. When you say hit the search bar and all that kind of stuff, that just kind of aches me. And that's why a lot of times you don't see me comment a lot of times in the Facebook groups. You'll see me liking some posts and stuff like that. But I kind of I'm not a big fan of Facebook, because here's the other thing that I don't like saying this a lot, but this is one thing. A lot of these guys in these Facebook groups, and they just sit there and they piss and moan, and it means they're not working on their business. If you're on and you're hitting the other groups of your neighborhood groups, stuff like that. And yes, you need to be hitting those groups right now. So that
Yep.
way, when spring comes, you can start growing it. And I'm not talking about getting in these Facebook groups saying, hey, I'm a pressure washer, I'm a pressure washer, I'm a pressure washer.
Spamming it.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting in these groups and start building that know, like, and trust. And when people
Yep.
know, trust, they will buy from you. And so, you know, when people ask, hey, who's a good plumber? Hey, Bob's a good plumber. Hey, who's a
Yep.
good this guy? Hey, I'm a small business. I need a CPA. Who do you recommend? And so when we start doing this and we start building that algorithm, we'll start seeing it, and that will help us get a lot farther than us in
Yep.
these Facebook groups a lot of times of who's got the bigger machine and that machine
Yep.
don't, and you hit the search bar, you know, because
Yep.
one thing that I'm a big fan of is there is no such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb question is the question you don't ask.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that one. Totally agree. And I also agree, I also kind of look at it like it's all about your mindset and your mentality. If you're always in that negative mentality where you always want to cause problems or always be negative, like people like that, even if they are making a ton of money, they're just not happy in life. That's not somebody that I personally want to look at and be like, I want to be like that guy. You know, I'd rather be like the guy who's working, hungry, grinding every single day. He may not have as much money yet, but he definitely will at some point have probably much more than that negative guy.
And you brought up a great point. Be positive, think positive, grow positive, get the negativity out of your life. And sometimes
Yep.
your own family is the negativity, and I hate to say that. But if you're
No,
around
you're 100% right.
people, you're probably going to become negative. When you're around positive people, you will become positive. And I
Yep.
love positive people, forward thinking people, because that is what's going to get you to the next level. And is it
Yep.
going to be hard to get to the next level? Yes, it's going to be hard to get to the next level. But can you get to the next level? Absolutely. And how do we
Yep.
do that? By being around positive, thinking positive. You know, I can look at a situation and think negative and say, well, I can't do that because what? Or I can think positive and think, how can I get around that? Yes, we're going to
Right.
keep moving. Yes, we're going to keep doing this. Yes, we can keep pushing. You know, that's one thing that one person that I kind of, you know, I don't want to get too political here. I don't know where you went, but I don't want to get too political here. But the big thing that I like to see is, you know, President Trump, he is very positive, always positive, positive, positive. I mean, he's getting kicked out of the White House and he's positive, positive,
Yep.
and when you have that attitude, you become a billionaire. And that's what you don't see billionaires out there that are negative, negative, negative. The billionaires
Yep.
are positive, forward thinking. What can I do? The next thing, what can I
How
do?
can I help? Yep. I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree. We have a pretty good question here. I figured I'll ask it. I know it's kind of broad, so I'm going to try to phrase it and make it a little bit more specific. Let's say, with your knowledge, if you were setting up residential rig, okay, no, this is not the right one. Here, okay, here it is. If someone does everything, let's say you have a hardworking person, somebody who's serious about growing, and they do every single thing that you teach in your program, like putting out the lawn signs, setting up Google My Business, so on and so on, how much do you think is realistic that they could make in that first year? Assuming, I know it can vary based on their city and everything. So, you know, if you're in Florida, it's going to probably be a lot different than if you're in Pennsylvania. But realistically, how much do you think is possible to go out there and make if they do everything you say?
How much heart do you have? How much are you willing to listen to do what I say? I've had several success stories from 80 last year with COVID. I got two guys that I can name names right now. That one of them made, I don't know if he's in your group, but he's in a lot of the groups. Greg Townsend did over $80,000 starting out
Okay.
without the back of a pickup truck. He was a chef, got laid off because of COVID, and he was
Yep.
needing work. I got another guy out of Illinois. He did over 80,000 before he got hit by a truck.
Oh my God.
Free everything. He thought he was going to lose his job as a firefighter. I got a guy in Florida. Yes, in Florida, where the nice guys are, and did over $100,000 last year in 2020 with it, and didn't really start till the pandemic. Now, what I will say is depending on what you want to do, it depends on how much you really want to make, how much you really want to push, how much you want to get to the next level. The guy that did $50,000 last year, I actually had a Voxer program where they get access to me and all that, one-on-one access to me. And one of his first Voxers is Jason, there's no way I can get to 100,000 this year. Everybody's a $99 guy. And you know what? The very first thing I told him this was, quit worrying about your competition, because when we worry about our competition, that means we're not worrying about our business. And if you want to worry about your competition, this is what I tell you. Go to their Google My Business, and if they have any 5-star reviews, or if they have any reviews, go look at the negatives and see what they do bad, and do really good at that. And that will set you apart from that competitor, that you don't have to worry about your competitor. And the number one thing that will set you apart from your competitor is answer your phone. If you don't answer it, you might as well give it up.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you. Totally. Did you ever see that video of Jeff Bezos back in like 1999 when Amazon was successful, but the interviewer was asking him about his competition that was coming up? He was asking him about Microsoft, if he was worried about that. And Jeff Bezos just kept reiterating, I don't care about the competitors. It's all about creating the best possible service for our customers. Did you ever see that video?
No, I haven't, but that's exactly right. You know, and Kurt is the one that always said that we are a customer service business that just so happens to be doing pressure washing, window cleaning, and stuff like that. And so what does that mean? That means that we got to be very good at our customer service, answering the phone, getting that phone answered, everything along those lines to keep us moving forward.
Totally agree. One of my buddies, Ryan, says he remembers your videos from back in the 2012 era. You were a true hunk.
Yeah, I'm not too much hunk. I'm more fatty now. So. No, I do try to help everybody. My goal is, I got my haters. I know we were talking about how we deal with haters and stuff, and haters aren't always a bad thing. Haters are a good thing sometimes, because that just means that most of your haters are mad at you because they can't be successful at the end of the day, and they're worried about taking the time to make somebody else's day bad too. And so that's kind of the negative side of it. But what my focus is really to help people start and grow and be successful. That is my number one key. Is it to make a living? I make a living off of it. I can't say but that's not why I do it. I do it because the guy that I was telling you about in Florida that made $150,000 last year, that when his wife went to the eye doctor, when I went down and met them, and I went and did a ride along with him, his wife was like, Jason, and this was when he took my course. It was between course and food on the table. And when he took this year, when I went down there in January, he was like, you know what? Every time we go to the eye doctor, I either have to pick if I can get contacts or glasses. I've never been able to get both. And this last week, I was able to get both.
Hey, there you go.
Now, you want to talk about making you happy, and that makes you good and feel warm and fuzzy inside. That's what gets that's why you do it. Me going. That's what makes me tick right there.
Yep. That's awesome, man. I love to hear that, man.
So, and again, that's not me being, what it is. He did all the work. I've kind of coached him through. I've kind of helped him get to where he needs to, where to focus at, what to push. When we're growing a business, there's 3 things we got to be doing. We got to be prolific, consistent, and relentless. And we got to be those 3 things. And we got to do that all the way through. We got to be consistent in our marketing. We can't do one thing one day and quit doing it. If we're going to do blog posts, we can't do them one day and not do them every day, or once a week, once a month, something like that. If we're going to do LinkedIn, we can't do it one day and leave it alone and think that it's just automatically going to get there. And then we got to be prolific. We got to do it every day, in and out and in and out. And we got to do it relentlessly. We got to do it no matter what comes our way. We got to push no matter what we do to be able to get persistence. To the level.
Yep. That's one of the big key things in Think and Grow Rich is being persistent. You have that idea once, and it's one thing to have it once, but you have to be persistent with it. You have to keep doing it until it becomes a habit, until it's something that you don't even think about. You just do it, and it becomes who you are.
Yep, 100%. And it's not easy. I never said it was easy. No. I never will say it was easy. But we got to do it and keep pushing.
If you want something bad enough, it really doesn't matter if you're willing to do anything. When you really want something bad enough, whether it's financial freedom so that your kids can go to college, or so, I know a lot of guys, it's about their children, because a lot of guys have kids and whatnot. So if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way to make it happen, no matter how hard it is.
Well, it comes back, do you really want to change your family tree? Do you really want it to keep going where it is, or do you want to change where you can do stuff for your family that will affect your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids.
Yep. Yep. I had a question for you that kind of popped into my head. I wanted to know, hypothetically, if you were stripped of everything that you have, all your equipment, all your YouTube following, if you were stripped from everything and you were plopped into a new state and you had to restart your pressure washing business with the knowledge that you have, what would you do? You keep all your knowledge, but everything else is stripped. And maybe you have, let's say, $10,000.
Oh, I got that big of a budget. I'm getting ready to go on how to make a startup business with less than $500. So.
Okay. Hey, let's go 500, then that make it even more interesting.
So the very first thing I would do is I'd get on my Facebook. I'd get in Facebook and I'd get in all the public groups and I would start posting there. And if I had $500, I'd be buying my signs. I'd buy 100 signs and I'd be putting out 25 a week signs.
Okay.
And so that gets me up to about $350. And you're going to say, well, how am I supposed to go wash a house if I don't have a pressure washer or nothing? I'm going to go rent a pressure washer. And I'm going to get enough business on a one-day job that I'm going to probably make anywhere from $700 to $1,000, $1,500 in that one day, 2-3 jobs. And I'm going to go do those 2 or 3 jobs. Then I'm going to go do it again. So then that way I can start buying equipment and growing. Once I get, and this is something I'm going to keep doing signs. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to do my LinkedIn. I'm probably not going to get a lot in LinkedIn right out of the get-go because of I'm in a new area, and that's going to, kind of dampen that. You don't need a website. One thing I would do before I even went out and did my first job is get my Google My Business up. When I get my Google My Business up, I'm going to try to find 100 pictures if I can. I'm going to upload those 100 pictures and start naming those in there. Once I get my first job, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to get everything I can to get that 5-star review and get that going.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just start scaling it from there. I'm going to keep pushing and keep pushing. Buy me, I would probably buy me a 500, I would probably buy me a 5.5 gallon, $1,500 with the small motor, maybe even go with the 8 gallon and be under $2,000. Buy a couple hoses, throw in the back of the truck until I can start buying my reels and stuff like that. I built my rig for less than $2,000 when I started. I wheeled and dealed. I bought a trailer. First thing I did was buy a trailer that had 2 junk lawnmowers on it. I took the 2 junk lawnmowers. I made 1 good lawnmower, traded that for a 4.5 gallon or 4 gallon pressure washer. Went on Craigslist, bought a $1,000 hot water heater. And then I had to put a new heater in it. And then I tied those 2 together, and that's how I started my pressure washing business. I started with less than $2,000 in my first rig.
Wow. That's incredible. Now, would you be out knocking on doors, or is that something you'd stay away from?
I'm not a door knocker, and I don't like it. I'd be in the Facebook groups. That's where I would be. I would be in all the local groups. And if I was going to do something for free, a house wash for free, I'm not going to go do the little cheap $100 house or little trailer house wash. I'm going to go to the biggest neighborhood out there, and I'll go knock on one of their doors and say, hey, can I wash your house? Because I'm trying to start pressure washing business. And the reason why I would pick that house is because I want all those pictures. I want pictures of houses, of big houses. I don't want trailers. That's not my customer. I don't want trailers for my customers. I want the $400,000 or $500,000 houses. And you know what's going to happen when I'm in that neighborhood? I can go do a 5-round knock on doors and say, here's my business card. I do pressure washing. And that is where I'm going to go to keep growing that business.
I like that.
I don't want the trailer park. I don't want the $100,000 houses. I want my in this area, the $300,000-$400,000 is really that sweet spot of where I want.
Gotcha. Now are you going and you taking that picture and maybe doing like a giveaway inside of the group, or what's your strategy when you actually join these Facebook groups? Because I know you're not just spamming it, but what's your strategy? Is it, hey, you're asking questions or engaging? Like what's your strategy when you actually join the group?
Pushing as much as hard as I can. I'm talking, I'm letting people know, and then I'm, it's kind of the jab hook. I'm doing 3-4 posts of, talking to them, and then I'm going to say, hey, you need pressure washing. And if I was stripped, I'm going to give the sob story. Hey man, I'm down and out a little bit. I got 2 kids, wife, and we just lost everything, and I'm starting a pressure washing business, and would you help me out? And and it's not so much of a sob story, but it's telling the whole side of the story.
Just being honest.
Because here's the thing. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to do nothing, that are lazy, and that is not cool. That is not good. at all. And that's not how you're going to grow your business. That's not how you're going to get your business to the next level.
Yep. Got it. Hey, I like that, man. So are you also doing a giveaway or something like that? Is that something you'd recommend? Maybe, hey, I just started my power washing group, or just started my power washing business, willing to do a house wash for free to get my name out there. Is that something you might recommend?
I would maybe do that, but I don't know if I would do that too much. I would want to do it where I knew that, hey, I got a sign that I can put in your front yard, that you're going to give me a 5-star review and a
Okay.
raving 5-star review. And again, a lot of times people get into pressure washing and they think that's the hardest part of this job, and they think
Mm-hmm.
that's what the most important is. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not the most important part of this job. The most
Mm-hmm.
important part of this job is marketing and getting
Yep.
that next job, getting that phone to ring the next time, the next one. And a lot of times guys get on that first house wash or the last house wash, and that's all they think about is getting this house washing done.
Yep.
No, this is where we need to get pictures, our before and afters. Our before and afters aren't about just about the before and afters to cover our tail if we break something. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
about marketing, getting that next
Yep.
job. I'm going to go Facebook Live when I'm doing that house. Hey, guys, I'm at
Yep.
the front of this house. You see all this nasty mold and stuff. I'm going to go Facebook Live then. I'm going to
Yep.
clean. I'm going to go Facebook Live while I'm cleaning. I'm going to go Facebook Live while I'm at the end of it. And so
Yep.
that way people know that I'm a pressure washer, because if I don't have any family or anything in that area, then I
Mm-hmm.
got to go in. And then this way I can send that out through them groups. I can start pushing that out. And that
Yep.
way I can get them to keep going. And so the next thing I'm going to do is take those pictures and put them in my Google My Business, because if you haven't set up your Google My Business, if you haven't done that, there's reasons why I'm telling you to do it. It's very
Yep.
important. Even if you don't have a website, it's a
Yep.
very easy website that you can build on the Google My Business that will help
Totally agree.
you do that. There was a study just not too long ago about Google versus Facebook, basically what it was. And it was
Yep.
just Google My Business versus the Facebook, and how Google My Business over the 2-year, 18-month period was
Mm-hmm.
huge at the end of the day.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, everybody. I don't know a single person who doesn't use Google. Whenever they want a pressure washing company, they're gonna go type in Google pressure washing companies near me or power washing companies. And when you have those 5-star reviews, all your photos, and you're showing up, boom, you're gonna have a much better shot showing up.
And don't just post pictures of before and after. Post pictures of you. Post pictures of your equipment. Post pictures
Mm-hmm.
of you cleaning and that kind of stuff. And that way, Google My Business is actually social proofing your business at the end of the day.
Yep.
The only thing that really social proofs your business is Google My Business.
Gotcha. Now let's say somebody who's starting out, maybe they do have that $500 and they're posting in the Facebook groups, they're spending some time doing that. Would you also recommend, let's say they have nothing scheduled for the next week, their calendar's empty. Would you recommend them going out and knocking, offering to clean the house for free and say, hey, listen, I'll clean your house for free if you let me put a lawn sign in your lawn, if you give me a Google review, and then just let me take some before and after pictures. Would you recommend just doing that, again and again and again throughout the day,
I mean,
in order to build up those reviews?
I don't know if I would do a bunch of them, but I would do maybe 1 or 2 in certain neighborhoods that I really want to be in, or certain neighborhoods that I want to be in. I wouldn't do
Okay.
too many, but I would be hustling and trying to figure out what I can do to get business, And a lot of it is, if you're not, I'm not the salesy type person. I'm not the person to go
Yeah.
knock doors. I do not like that at all. But I can get online and I can push in Facebook groups. I can be community. Next door is another thing I can be doing, and building those relationships in there.
Gotcha.
And the biggest thing is a lot of times it's not fun and sexy to do the website and learning all that stuff. But if I don't have money, I'm going to figure that out.
Yep.
If I was stuck in a new city, I can build a website. That's not hard for me because I built several of them.
Yeah.
So I have skills that, I know a lot of people don't have those skills. So that's why
Right.
I want to try to do things. I've
Mm-hmm.
done a thing in my group where I'm kind of running a thing of who's got, what signs work better. Does house washing work better? Does pressure washing work better? Does red work better? Does blue work better? And so these are
Yeah.
things that I like trying to figure out and to grow it at the end of the day.
Gotcha. This is something that I kind of learned from you that I actually, I learned from you. Nobody else put me on this whole 100 pictures thing. Is there something within the algorithm on the Google My Business listing that once you hit 100 pictures, or does it have to be specifically 100, or what's the deal on the 100 picture thing?
So Bright Local is a company that does local GMB, and they did I'm trying to look up the study right now.
Okay.
The
Gotcha.
Bright Local study for pictures. And they did a study of a bunch of different companies, and that is where that come up here, because I want to make sure I give the right information. Bright Local study for pictures, and basically it's a big deal to get that 100 pictures up there.
Okay.
It is. Here we go. It's this right here. Let me scroll down here, and I'll get it to you real fast.
Gotcha.
I think it's this one, and this was put out in 2019, so it is a little bit older, but shoot, I can't. I know where it is. It's right here in my course that I'm redoing my course for my training.
Okay.
So what it is it's from Bright Local. Let me get it here, because now I want to get it, because let's see, get down in here. There we go, in the marketing section. So if we only have one picture, we're going to get 12 website visits, 3 directions, and 4 phone calls. If we have 11 to 25 pictures, we're going to get 39 website visits and 18 phone calls. If we have 51 to 100, we're going to get 102 website visits and 29 phone calls. But if we have over 101 plus pictures, we're going to get 385 website visits and 87 phone calls.
What? Now, so is this per month or?
Per month. So we're getting 3 times just by having that 50 to 100 and 100.
Yep.
And this study was done in July of 2019. So yes, there is a reason why I tell people 100 pictures.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that study, so I'm glad that you put us onto that. That's awesome.
So that is something that, 385 website visits versus if you only got 2 to 5 is 19. You think that's the phone ring a little bit?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Now, when you're uploading those pictures, are you changing the file name? So you know how a lot of times when you first take a picture, it's going to have a bunch of random. Are you changing those file names to pressure washing in city name or house washing city name or?
Yes, we want to do, and especially if it's in a neighborhood that we want to maybe, because Google My Business works off of a couple things. One thing is location. That's something that we can't change. We can't change the location of our building to a different location. So that's going to hurt us a little bit. But say we got a nice neighborhood that's one city over, and we really want to focus in over there. So then we're going to go and name those pictures house washing, next door city, zip code, house washing, all of that kind of thing when we're doing.
Okay. Gotcha. So you're naming the file, and then you're also you're actually naming it within the file section, and then when you upload it, you're also putting the title, house washing, pressure washing, or whatever keyword plus the city name, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing is so I was saying that what helps you rank. So one is reviews, obviously, but that's not like the top one. They're all kind of equal. And then you can do Google Post will also help things too. What I used to learn in what that one study that I just seen was about citations. So citations use your name, name, address, phone number, all the way across the internet. That used to be a big thing. But on this last study they did, it did absolutely zero. None.
The newest update, they cut it?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome, man. Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot from you in terms of that. That part of the Google My Business is very, very important. I didn't know about the 100 pictures part.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Whenever I teach something, there's a reason behind it. It isn't just Jason come up with this brilliant idea, because I'm not that.
Sean Green wants to know, naming the pictures, is that in your course?
Yeah, I have a course that everything is in that course of what we talked about, and
gotcha.
I'm getting ready to put on how to build a website if you want to learn how to do it through, through WordPress and stuff like that. So.
Yep. Okay. What are your thoughts on Nextdoor? You think, because I think when I look at Nextdoor, I mean, I could be totally wrong. It could be a complete mess. I think Nextdoor is going to be the future when it comes to not just pressure washing, but lawn care, everything, because it's so close knit. I just wanted to get your thoughts on Nextdoor. Nowhere near as big as Google, but maybe bigger than Facebook in terms of getting business from it at some point.
Maybe at some point when the younger generation gets into it. I think a
Mhm.
lot of our older generation are still on Facebook.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I don't think that a lot of the older generation is on Nextdoor. So I
Okay.
think that could hurt it somewhat right now. Where Facebook is more social and, people you can get on there, where Nextdoor is more about talking about caring versus trying to find
Right.
something.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then, do you recommend? Let's say you already have the 100 pictures on Google My Business. Is it good to put them all up at one time? Do you think that's a good idea to put them all up there at once, or do you think you should trickle them out a couple a day?
I've put them all up on once and it's never really, I don't think it's red flagged me or nothing.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
I've
Now,
said,
are you keeping up with it though? Once you get them up there, are you posting regularly every single day, or maybe not every day, but every time you get a house wash or whatnot?
yeah, I would try to do a post at least once a week,
Okay.
Google post, and that'll also put those pictures up there. Now, a lot of times
Yeah.
those pictures won't have the name, but that's fine at the end of for those, because it's going to have the location of actually where that picture taken. And
Right. You geotag it.
you can geotag it, but a lot of times Google is stripping that geotag off of them anyway. So
Oh, are they? Okay.
yeah, because that's something that can be manipulated, and
That is true.
that's why Google don't like it.
Yeah. Yep.
Google don't
Yep.
like anything that can be manipulated.
Yep. Well, they want to prevent scammers. They want to prevent people they want to prevent people from going on and scamming people and ripping people off, and they just want to make sure you're a legit company, pretty much.
So Billy asked a question that the Google post last 7 days. Actually, the new thing like a couple weeks ago, they last longer than that now. I heard.
Okay.
Oh,
That's awesome.
actually last longer than 7 days now.
Okay. Yeah, man. So I know that you have a course. I want to know if maybe you could speak a little bit more about that. Anybody who is interested. I know you didn't come on to talk about the course, but I'm interested in anybody who wants to buy the course or interested. Maybe if we could talk about that a little bit and see maybe what value are they going to get from it, and then where could they get it?
So, what value you're going to get from it? So I put everything that I learned in my years of business and growing it to $1 million and what made me successful and what isn't. So
Hmm.
I go over everything from, and I'm getting ready to revamp it again, because my goal is to have a section for just if you have a new employee that they can sit down and learn the processes that go through all the house washing stuff. And then,
Right.
and I go step by step. I give the check sheet. So, when you first pull up, I have a check sheet for that. I have a check sheet when you're done. And you might say, well, Jason, why do I need check sheets for? Because when you're trying to grow and have employees, you've got to have check sheets 100%. If you don't have check sheets, you're just being stupid at that point.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it won't happen. And the other thing I always tell people, if you're not using the check sheet, then good luck on your employee using it, because they're not going to use it either. So when we have employees, we got to set the bar high and we got to stay by the bar ourselves. We can't do shortcuts. And
Yep.
then the other thing I teach is how to do marketing. That's probably worth way more than anything in there. I put all my
Hmm.
knowledge on how to set up your Google My Business, and I got a whole module on just Google My Business. I got a whole module on Google Ads, and that's how I really grew and scaled my business through Google Ads. And so I
Same
got
here.
all my negative keywords, all my positive keywords, everything in there of that kind of stuff. How to set it
Hmm.
up, how to do everything in Google My Business, how to
Okay.
do Facebook, how to do Facebook ads, how to do LinkedIn. LinkedIn is another way that I grew a lot of commercial work. I probably did over $250,000 just in LinkedIn a year. I actually
Okay.
got another guy local to me, Benjamin Gregory. He did over $150,000 from LinkedIn this year. So LinkedIn is a way to get a lot of money. If you're not using LinkedIn, start using it. Start figuring it
Okay.
out. I go over that you can find property managers and how to get different things. I go over email marketing. Email marketing is another thing that how I got a lot of money in commercial work. And so I go in how to find emails and how to go and strip the emails out of some of these websites, so that way you don't have to go do a bunch of work.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
teach all of that kind of stuff. And then I have a Facebook community that I only have let people in my membership in there, so that way when they can come and ask dumb questions, and I will answer those questions and won't make you feel belittled. And I got some great people in there. Like I said, Greg Townsend is always in there, and Jason Huffner, and different people that I've helped grow their business also comes in and talks a lot and helps people grow their business too. So.
Gotcha. What CRM are you using?
I used Service Monster when I was
Service
there,
Monster.
but
Okay.
I wasn't a big fan of it. I mean, I'm not. There's really no one be all great CRM at the end of the day. Um,
Right.
I've heard like Donovan, he did $1 million last year, and he loves Jobber because, but it's $280 or $250 a month. So, to get all the features that you really need, you're going to have to pay some money at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of on Team Markate right now, but I used Service Monster as well in the past, and I wasn't too big of a fan. I like Markate a little bit better, but I think once, I mean, they all pretty much do the same thing for the most part, just kind of a
So what do
different
you like
layout.
about Marquette about it?
I just think it's sleek. When I'm in it, it's simple to use. When I'm looking at the dashboard, it's really simple. You know what I mean? Like, it's not too much that can go wrong.
So you definitely don't like Customer Factor because that thing is as lucky you can get. So.
Yeah. Have you switched around? Have you used one and then maybe not liked it and then switched to another one?
Well, that's how I've used Customer Factor, and I like House Call Pro, but I've actually heard that their customer service hasn't been very good here lately, so that might be a negative too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think House Call Pro, I've been hearing a ton of, I think they might be growing pretty fast. Maybe that's why they're maybe just understaffed.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. So.
Yeah. Okay. And then I did want to ask you maybe if you could give us a little nugget. I know you don't want to go too much in depth, and I wouldn't expect you to. Maybe what's maybe one little strategy of that you would use on LinkedIn? Like, is there maybe one little nugget that you could give us that you utilize?
Yeah. So, and that's one thing I want to push to before I get. One other thing I did in my course too is I put the phone scripts in there because a lot of people have
Okay.
time with phone scripts and dealing with
Yeah.
phone scripts and knowing how to talk on the phone and all of that. And that's very important. So that's another thing. So some things about LinkedIn. So here's the gist about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is all about networking. It's all about networking. So
Okay.
it isn't we go in there and we find all our buddies that are pressure washers and we start, tagging all them. We want to go find property managers and different things along the way of finding business owners, doctors' offices, stuff like that, and facility managers. And we can look up all this stuff and get all this information for free. Facility managers, property managers, HOA directors, all of this stuff we can find them. And so when we go in there, we're going to start connecting with these people. Now, we're not going to go in there and spam them. We're going to go in, we're going to communicate with them. When they post something, we're going to talk about them on their posts. We're going to do stuff. Now, we're going to put posts, a lot of guys, like the guy that I know that's been successful, he does little videos of what's the app where it goes back and forth, the slider back and forth, where, it just shows dirty and clean. Exact same picture.
Gotcha.
Got the slider and it goes back and forth and it makes it look clean and dirty, and he'll do that for 30 seconds, or he'll do some 30-40 second clips and put them on there. And then he likes a lot of realtors, which I'm not a big fan of liking a lot of realtors because they're all about realtors. But anytime that they post, he'll be like, man, that's an amazing house, and man, that's awesome, and that's a cool house, and he'll share their post. And when you do that, you're building networking and you're building that relationship with these people, and you start learning from these people of, and what'll happen is you'll get somebody saying, hey, I need you to clean it. I need you to clean this. And that is, grew my side of the commercial side of it.
Okay. Gotcha. So would you say if you're trying to go with commercial work, LinkedIn is the number one thing for commercial work, or is Google good for commercial as well? Or
LinkedIn and email marketing is your two best things for commercial.
okay. Now, when you say email marketing, are you talking cold emails? Like you just find their email on their website and then just message them and say, hey, I do power washing, or is that what you mean by email marketing? Okay.
So we can get, there's a couple websites out there that you can find the email or property managers, and we can get their email, and then we're just going to send a mass email out. There's different ways to do it. Obviously, you don't want to just put them all and BC them all because that's going to throw them all in spam folder. So there's GMass is one that's kind of a cheap, easy way that we can do things. And we're going to send these emails out. And we're not even going to be like, hey, I'm a pressure washer with all these cool pictures and all this stuff.
Right.
Going to get sent to spam again. So we're just keep a little 1, 2, 3 liners. These people are very busy. And so, you're just going to be like, hey, it's spring. Do you need anything done for spring? Hey, it's fall. Do you need gutters cleaned out? Hey, it's, kind of that season. And we're going to just keep doing it. You will get work from it. You'd be surprised how much work you can get from it. The other way
go ahead.
The other way to get commercial work is through your apartment associations. That's another good way. It's going to cost you anywhere from probably $500 to $1,000, but you'll get a whole list of emails, and they have little networking events, and we got a lot of we did over $150,000 off of one.
Wow.
Just from that. So
that's incredible. I did want to run an idea by you. What do you think about sending out a cold email offering to buy them lunch or something? Just, hey, I've run a power washing business. Just want to know if I can maybe get lunch with you someday. Instead of trying to sell or anything like that. What do you think about that?
A lot of these people are busy. It's one thing to, hey, can I bring donuts to you? Something like that. These people are busy. And I mean, I'm not going to say that it wouldn't be a good idea, but again, a lot of these people don't want to be sitting there talking to you about work and business and stuff. So.
Right. Gotcha.
Just kind of the gist from it. I'm not going to say it's not going to work, but I'm going to say a lot of people.
Just your first thoughts, yeah.
Good. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it makes complete sense. I'll leave it open. If you guys, anybody watching, I know some of the Power Wash Bros here, we got about 30 people in here. If you have any questions for Jason, feel free to just drop them down here. And if you want to know about his course, if you want to know about his YouTube channel, I'll definitely leave a link to your YouTube channel so that anybody who doesn't already know you, I know most guys already know who you are.
Yeah, if you want 30, I'll get 30 days free. If you go to pressurewashhelp.com/free, you get your 30 days free. And then that way you can check it out, go in, see what all you want. If you like it, you can stay around. If not, you can get out. But you get 30 days free in there. You'll learn a lot. There is a lot to be learned in there. So.
Absolutely. Hey, man, I believe in you. I know a lot of the other guys believe in you. We've a ton of guys know who you are, man. We've all talked about you here in the group. We all appreciate what you're doing, and I think you put out great content, man. I really enjoy it.
I just like helping people, and that's something else that I love doing is doing ride-alongs with people, and I do them with not even in my group. If you want to ride along, I will do a ride along with people, and I get I do it for my videos, but I also do it because I like to see people and be around people to help make sure that they're being, getting to that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever do any pressure wash help mastermind events where you like take out maybe a group of like 10 guys to come out and see you, and you just kind of have like a little small get to group like meeting type of thing? Is that something that you do, or?
I haven't done it yet. I do in-person training is one thing that I do. So for like to do stuff like that, I do in-person trainings of, that way you can go and it costs it. So like my next one is actually next week. It's in Raleigh. It's going to be a course. 2 days is going to be, or one day is pressure washing. The next day is the marketing side and
gotcha.
And all of that. And then the third day is going to be Christmas lights. So
Christmas. Okay. Awesome. And you have a podcast too, right?
I do have a podcast. It is kingofpressurewash.com/podcast. So,
Gotcha. Okay. Now, is it on Spotify or anything like that as well?
It's on Apple and all of them. Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. I just, Khalif says he listens to your podcast, and Billy's asking you to come to Philly.
All right. Sounds good. Never been to Philly. I've been flying through Philly.
Yeah. I've only been there once. It's,
When you're out quoting a commercial job, what kind of questions are you asking? So that's a good question. So it's not so much about what questions am I asking. It's more about things of like making sure I got water source. Are people going to be around? Is there ways that I can shut things down? Stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's more about water sources and finding that kind of thing. And then quoting those, I always try to quote by the hour. I know some people are like, I want to know by cent per square foot and all this other crap. And, you might get one of those jobs out of 150,000 jobs of that pricing, but you're never, you know, so I'm always shooting for that $300 an hour
Okay.
while I'm there. So, you know, if I'm there a day, that's, you know, $3,000, $2,500. So.
Yep. Yep. Gotcha. Okay. Now that's $300 an hour, like whether your employees are doing it, whether you're there, $300 an hour either way.
Usually it's per truck. So if I
Per
got
truck.
2 trucks there, then I'm going to have 2 trucks. So.
Okay. Okay.
Is there a
Okay.
next course, or it's included? It's included in the monthly membership, is what it's included into.
Gotcha.
Don't listen to good things happen in Philly. Would like to go to Raleigh event. I'm in Greensboro. Yeah, I'll be there. If you go to kingofpressurewash.com/training dates, I believe is where you can find that. Or you can go to King of Pressure Wash and you'll find it in the top of the bar too for in-person training.
Gotcha. Now, are you from Cincinnati?
I'm actually from where the Cincinnati airport is. So Cincinnati
Okay.
is actually in northern Kentucky, and I live about 10 minutes from the Cincinnati airport.
Okay. I got you. I got you. I was say I have a buddy named Jeff Pittman who lives out in Cincinnati. I might have to refer him to you. Maybe he can come to one of your courses or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep. He's from Cincinnati too. Great guy. Well, man, if you have anything else to add, I'm sure we could probably wrap this up. I really appreciate you doing this, man. I know, like I said, a lot of the guys here have a ton of respect for you. I have a ton of respect for you, and I'm just really thankful you did this, man.
No problem. I love coming on, man. I love helping new people, and I want to make sure people are successful. I think I gave plenty enough golden nuggets to get some people going and motivated.
Oh, I agree. Yep. Hey, man, I totally agree, man. Just the stuff that you've given us today is worth its weight in gold, man. I appreciate that.
And that means you're going to have to come on my live next. So.
Yeah, hey, man, absolutely. Hey, if there's anything I can do to help you out, just let me know. You know, anything. If there's anything I can do, just let me know. You know, I'm a phone call away. I'm always willing to help.
Awesome, dude. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to sign off here, but I really appreciate everyone who tuned in, guys. Talk to you later, Jason. I appreciate it, man.
Take it easy.
You too.